itself is not in the city of Saraland. What's in the city of Saraland is retail. It's a planned retail mall development. And that's where our tax money is going to be going for primarily, is supporting retail development. We have had a lot of attorney time addressing the issue, because this gets asked a lot. Is Saraland going to be holding the bag if something happens to Pritchard? If Pritchard does go bankrupt, if Pritchard does this, if the county reneges on their agreement. Our attorney, and again, this is a gentleman who's done these deals all through Alabama, has assured us that he is 100% comfortable with this agreement. He says this agreement poses no financial risk to the city of Saraland. He said that basically all we're promising that is if they do build it, they will get a share given back of what they build in the city of Saraland to be used for the city of Saraland. If they don't build it, if something happens along the way, we're not out anything, we're not fronting any money, we're not tying up any city assets. You know, basically, we're just saying if you build it, you will get a share to help compensate you for what you have built. I want to go through some of the other advantages of doing this deal and understand the second. I'll read the second comment. Do we have, this is from Mike Dow's letter, do we have to have a Saraland partnership agreement to proceed with our financing and development plans? The answer is no. Do we want Saraland to be a part of our development team? The answer is very much so. They have, and Mike Dow will talk about this later, they have an alternative financing plan that does not include Saraland. It involves annexing 800 acres into the city of Pritchard. It involves shifting this proposed retail development into the city of Pritchard. And as much as I would think Pritchard would benefit from these kind of things, I want them in Saraland. This development is going to happen with or without Saraland's participation. However, we have a chance to get some of the benefits. If we don't, we're still going to have some of the problems this is going to generate. We're going to have traffic, we're going to have noise, but this will give Saraland some rewards for doing this. We're not going to have all the problems and none of the financial benefits. Of paramount importance, and I've mentioned this earlier, is the annexation of the 800 acres. These 800 acres, which abut the Callioga area, as part of this agreement, are guaranteed to become part of the city of Saraland. This 800 acres functions as a buffer zone between Saraland and the racetrack development. Under Saraland's annexation, it will be our police department, our fire department, our zoning regulations, our noise ordinance that will be governing this area. Otherwise, it will be governed by the city of Pritchard and used as they see best. I hate to mention this. The city of Chickasaw, if you read the paper yesterday, just voted to start electronic gambling in their community. The city of Pritchard's mayor, yesterday's paper, is up in Montgomery begging for a constitutional amendment to allow electronic bingo gambling in Pritchard. We have negotiated into this contract, absolute, forever and ever. They will not be able to have any form of gambling in any part of this development that is in the city of Saraland. I think that's very important. I think it's important for our quality of life. You know, Pritchard and Chickasaw seem to be putting their economic development plans into gambling. That seems to be their economic development plan right now. We have a chance to do something different, something better, something more positive. The development has the potential to bring millions of dollars of additional revenue into Saraland. As has been mentioned, we are going to have to provide some extra city services, you know, with that 800 acres and the retail development. It's going to be some police protection, some fire protection. But in exchange, we have the potential to receive millions of dollars to compensate us for providing this service. In addition to the sales tax that generates, and the school sales tax that generates, the city is going to get extra property taxes, lodging taxes, franchise fees, and building permit fees, all of which we won't get if we don't go forward with this agreement. Shopping. Currently, all our residents have to travel to Mobile for many of their shopping needs. The extensive retail development will make Saraland a regional shopping destination, which will make it a lot more convenient for our residents to find what they need. We have put weeks contingency. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? And we feel we have looked at every reasonable contingency you could imagine, every worst case scenario. And I think we've negotiated a very fine agreement with this firm that will benefit our city. They are at a crossroads right now. They wanted us to do this agreement in early January. We have greatly delayed them, it cost them a ton of money, which is okay. Sorry, Mike, it was okay. But we greatly have inconvenienced them and cost them a chunk of money by holding off. But we told them we had to hold off because we had to do our due diligence. We had to look at risk. We had to look at different possibilities. We had to make sure legally that we were in good standing. And I feel we have done our homework. I feel that the agreement we have is fair. It will serve Saraland very well. And I hope the council will give it due consideration. Other comments from the council?
I'll go Dr. Rubenstein. First, I would like to commend the council, the city attorneys, everyone involved in the contract. They have went to great lengths to get us the best contract that they can get. And any city that's willing to go into agreement like this will probably want to look at our contracts above anybody else's for a good contract that is protected. The council has done a fantastic job on this. But I actually had a couple of questions. I like that. I might doubt some questions. Some of them are just basic. It's already been going over. Some people here may not have. Then at the last meeting, just some clarification on a few things. Sure. The first thing is, does GC&E currently own the property at Parkside?
Yeah, members within our investment group, people that own the company, own the land.
Okay. And you do have agreements now with Pritchard and Mobile.
Yes,
I know
we do.
that once the agreements are done, they'll actually form a cooperative district and improvement districts, and their purpose is getting the bonds and warrants for the actual park improvement. Have you started with these yet?
We start our financing is moving forward, and we're actually dependent on getting this meeting tucked into it to get our total financial package put together. But all of that is moving forward.
Okay. I'm skipping some of these. A lot of this stuff has already been talked about, so I'm just kind of scanning over it. The 800 acres. Originally, the last public hearing, it was going to be an RV park, and that was actually shrunk down to a smaller park, but that was the original plan for it.
Right.
Yeah, the last contract actually is put in for a PUD development and commercial property. So
Well, there's actually a piece of land that's on the curve of Calliope that's in Saraland that will be something for us to sit down and talk about what goes there. I mean, there's actually, aside from the RV stuff that we are annexing to Saraland, there's actually a piece of Saraland in that curve that we own that we need to sit down and talk to you about what goes there and get that figured out.
Okay, I got one when I read about probably putting the PUD in their planned unit development.
Well, I don't think we're specific about
Okay,
no definition of that.
I've talked to a lot of realtors. I'm also on the planning commission.
Yeah.
And they stated right now that if you own real estate close to Saraland, that's not in Saraland, you can't hardly give it away. Because people want to be that close, they want to be part of our school system, part of Saraland. You know, they can sell houses a lot quicker,
Right.
a lot more actually in Saraland. And for the 800 acres from an investment standpoint, you know, it'd be a lot more feasible regardless to put it in Saraland because it'd be worth a lot more to
Well,
you.
those acres are gonna be in Saraland, but there's also, part of the, Corps of Engineer permit process says we can put something here, put something here, but not here. So there's some definition to that land that will necessarily limit it to an extent, but we have to sit down with you and talk about what goes on that side.
And with y'all put a good program together. I was off of the track, I'm still off of the track in the shopping. It's just, my biggest concern is the amount of incentives paid back.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of money for Saraland to commit to.